Today, we're unleashing the untold story of Slash's holy grail guitars, the Kris Derrig Les Paul replicas. These aren't just axes, they're the soul-shaking beasts behind Appetite for Destruction's iconic riffs. And we've got Slash's own raw, unfiltered quotes that'll blow your mind.
If you've ever wondered why this rock god swears by these replicas over a real Gibson, stick around, this is gonna be legendary.
The game-changer guitar that saved Appetite. Kris Derrig wasn't just a player, he was a builder. He could take a piece of wood and turn it into a masterpiece. And in the 80s, when the guitar world was all about shred-tastic superstrats, Kris was old school. He loved the warm, soulful tone of the Gibson Les Paul, the kind of guitar that speaks to your soul, not just your shredder ego. Let's set the scene. It's the 1980s, and the guitar world is wild. Superstrats, think Jackson, Charvel, Ibanez, are king. Everyone's shredding like Yngwie Malmsteen, trying to play a million notes a second. But Kris Derrig? He's out here saying, nah man, gimme that Les Paul vibe. And guess who else was vibing with that old school sound? Slash from Guns N' Roses. Here's where it gets crazy. In 1986, Guns N' Roses are recording Appetite for Destruction, but Slash is in a bind. He sold his gear for, well, let's just say rockstar reasons. He's stuck playing a BC Rich, a Jackson, and a borrowed Gibson SG, and they all sound terrible to him. In fact, he got so frustrated, he smashed an SG through a van windshield. Yeah, Slash was not having it. This wasn't just any guitar, it was a work of art. Kris was living in a trailer behind Music Works in California, crafting these jaw-dropping replicas that looked better than anything Gibson was making at the time. When Guns manager Alan Niven brought one of Kris's guitars to Slash, it was love at first riff. Producer Mike Klink knew it too. This guitar was the one.
That thick, aggressive tone? That's Kris's guitar all over Appetite for Destruction.
From the opening chords of Welcome to the Jungle to the soulful solo in Sweet Child of Mine, this guitar became Slash's voice. It's no wonder Appetite sold 18 million copies. Kris and Slash brought soul back to rock and roll. Slash himself spills the beans. The Guns N' Roses manager at the time, Alan Niven, brought this Les Paul to the studio for me, just as I was about to do all my guitar overdubs. And it was that Kris Derrig Les Paul. It just sounded perfect, man. Like a gift from on high. Yeah, you heard that right. A gift from on high. This bad boy showed up in the 11th hour and became the voice of hits like Welcome to the Jungle and Paradise City. Slash says, I went in the next day and it was the most amazing sounding guitar. No wonder it oozed that thick, milky aggression all over the album. So, what's the story about the guitar Slash threw in the Don't Cry video? Watch till the end to find out. Let's talk about why Kris's guitars were so special. These weren't just replicas. They were modern vintage masterpieces. Kris used 100-year-old maple for the tops, hand-picked for insane beauty. He'd even spit on the wood to test its quality. And his secret weapon? Old-school aniline dyes and a wild technique of heating lacquer on a hot plate for that glossy, radiant finish. I'm not saying try this at home, but Kris was a mad scientist with a spray gun. In 1986, Kris was diagnosed with cancer. He fought hard, even went into remission briefly, but at just 33 years old, he passed away on May 14, 1987, just months before Appetite for Destruction took the world by storm. Slash's passionate praise. But why does Slash, with his arsenal of over 400 guitars, keep coming back to these Derrig replicas? Listen to the man. The go-to guitar for me when I'm recording is the same one I've been using since 1987, which is a replica of a 1959 Gibson Les Paul, handmade by the late great guitar builder Kris Derrig. He calls it his #1, with a unique tone and personality that appears on every record he's made. And get this, Slash treats it like a lifelong partner. I would go with my Derrig 59 copy that I've been using forever. It's just such a great sounding guitar, but it's old now. It was made in probably '85 or '86. It's very temperamental, so we're like an old married couple. I have to treat her a certain way, and she gives back a little. So there's a lot of nuances in how we work together. At the end of the day, tonally, that's my guitar. Talk about true love. This guitar's got soul that even outshines vintage Gibsons. Now, the big reveal. Slash doesn't just own one Derrig, he's got a collection. Sources confirm he owns 3 of these rare beasts, including the original Appetite monster he keeps locked in a safe for safekeeping. He tracked down more after falling in love with the first, because when you find tone like that, you hoard it. Kris Derrig only made about 20 in his lifetime, making Slash's stash a rock and roll treasure trove. Slash even took the original on tour in '87-'88 and beat the shit out of it, his words. But it's still his Studio King, proving these replicas are built to last and conquer. Slash's Derrig Les Pauls aren't just guitars, they're the heartbeat of rock history. Just a few years back, an exhilarating twist of fate unfolded when Gibson unveiled their spectacular counterfeits of Slash's iconic Derrig guitar, dubbing it the Appetite for Destruction Les Paul, all for a jaw-dropping price of $5,000. The irony isn't lost on Chris's brother Dale, as he fondly recalls a riveting chat with Kris during their Atlanta days. Back then, Kris was understandably uneasy after hearing that Gibson had taken notice of some beautifully crafted counterfeits surfacing in the South. One of Chris's early masterpieces had even made its way into Gibson's headquarters in Tennessee, leaving them less than thrilled. Now, the tables have turned, and Gibson finds itself replicating Chris's creations, an incredibly ironic twist that would have left him in stitches if he were around to witness it. From saving an album to inspiring Gibson's own replicas, these axes prove passion beats pedigree. As Slash puts it, that first Derrig just sounded perfect, and the rest is legend. Slash did not throw a real Gibson Les Paul. Instead, he threw a custom-built replica of a '59 Les Paul Standard in the Don't Cry music video. The replica that was built by luthier Kris Derrig and was used in the video because Slash didn't want to destroy a real Gibson Les Paul. So one of his 2 Derrig guitars were used instead, not knowing how iconic they would become. According to luthier Roman Rist, the middle Les Paul replica here is Slash's first from luthier Kris Derrig, the one Rist says Slash used on the tail end of Appetite. The guitar on the right was built by Peter Max Baronet. The instrument on the left is purportedly Slash's second Derrig model. If this fired you up, smash that like button, subscribe for more on cars and guitars, and drop in the comments, what's your dream guitar?